So, it's a tier 5 game on my favorite map, Ruinberg? No, Redshire! This is Redshire. God, I'm really smart. I'm driving the AMX ELC BIS, the French tier 5 light tank. And it's really the first light tank that really offers up a true feel of what French light tank gameplay is going to be like, or so I'm told, since I haven't played any of the higher tier ones yet. This is literally my first French tech line. After 5 years of playing, I'm finally picking out a French tech line to go up. And of course, naturally, I picked the one that has 3 tier 10s at the end. I'm going to play the tier 8 tank for an eternity. But anyways, this tank, this was actually a big favorite amongst many, many players for a long time because of its high speed, very hard-hitting armament, and incredibly good stealth profile. I'm getting to it late. It's actually suffered, I think, at least 2 major nerfs since I started playing. The most recent one actually took away a lot of its ability to drive-by attacks like I used to all the time, and turned it more into excellent light passive scout and late-game strike tank slash tank destroyer type thing. And I came here to this bush because, well, it still hasn't sunk into me that this bush is no longer terribly useful on Redshire flights as it used to be. I'm looking, you can see me looking like I can't see the heavy tank line. So now I've noticed the fact that the mid-ridge is completely exposed. This tank has no gun depression whatsoever. I'm going to go in there and see if I can do something about that. ELC has a lot of advantages. It is a very tiny target. It's pretty fast, so as you can see, the power ratio is not very good. When I have to go through obstacles, I slow way down. The 90mm is an incredible mixed bag. It's not good at snapshots at all. It has a very long reload. I think I've gotten it down to about 13.5 seconds of the fully trained crew, but it does have good penetration, decent accuracy, and of course very heavy alpha for a tier 5 tank. However, it has one of the longest aim times, I think, in the game, seeing as I can get my camouflage net and binoculars in play before the gun is fully aimed. This is not necessarily a bad thing. If you're properly anticipating it, it means you get to take all your shots with your stealth fully maximized. So here's the aim time. Binocs all that are already up, and I haven't finished completely aiming before I fire. Now, little Luke's right here. I kind of figures here, I'm bluffing him right here that I actually have a shot when I don't, because I'm not loaded yet. He's going to give me some abuse here. Not much I can do about that, unfortunately, because this thing also has no armor. I'm going to turn around now. I'm aimed at him. Pew! Bounce. Because every so often, no matter how hard you try, if you're auto-aiming, the rounds can hit real or funny. So now I'm just trying to gain some distance. I don't really want to be someplace where that Luke's can spot me. Fortunately, our T-67 is going to go in and give the Luke's the business. And now I'm full-on tank destroyer mode. I'm just not interested in getting too close to the horde of tanks coming out of the west. Again, long aim time, but decent accuracy means that the round makes its mark on an unfortunate P-26, who's probably just wondering where 2/3 of his health went. At this point, the team is not doing so well. We're down 6 tanks. And it's only going to get worse before it starts getting any better. Panzer IV. This is the same guy I shot earlier. Apparently no one else has a good shot at him. But I do. And that's where the 90mm is really nice. This is really the assassination gun. Later in the game, when enemy tanks are low on health, particularly down here at Tier 5, where low on health often means less than 200 hit points, this gun is the apocalypse, because you are very, very good at just being patient, getting into position. You can sneak up on tanks and take them out before they're even aware that they're under attack. So here we are. We're down by 6 tanks. Our KV-220, still pretty much at full health, is trying to hold off an Su-85 and a Martyr. And guess what? There's also a Churchill up there, and I'm just sitting here kind of looking for targets. Valentine's out of reach, though, but this DW2 is coming nicely into line. T-67 and the SU are defending our base. Heavy fire. I'm looking for W2, not going to get it. Decided to take a shot at the Lee. Missed completely because I did not fully aim the shot, but it gets some lovely spotting damage because it is still a light tank, and with the binoculars up, it's got pretty good view range. Oop, our KV-220 still has lots of health. He's killed the SU-85. He's now holding off a Stuke, but he's still getting peppered by that Martyr. And now he's been flanked by the Churchill. I'm thinking, I don't think he's going to last much longer. So now it's time for me to start thinking about how best to use the tank. But it's definitely late game. There are only a few vehicles left on each team. These scores are almost perfectly evened up now at 10 versus, well, we're down 3 tanks versus, I guess technically 5. The one of theirs is an SPG. And I decide that the real problem here is the Churchill. He's their only remaining Tier 5 vehicle. So I'm going to deal with him last. I'm going to make sure that he has as little support as possible when it's time to move in on. Because frankly, the fewer tanks that are getting vision out, the more dangerous the ELC becomes. So right now I'm looking for that P2640 I slapped in the face earlier. And I'm guessing he's probably still up by those buildings. To my surprise, he's actually right behind this ridge line. Luckily for me, he misses. And yeah, at that range, I'm not worried about aiming quite so much. And 90mm just goes straight through his tank, takes him out. So now I'm just doing a little zigzagging maneuvering to try and avoid any possible artillery fire. The Valentine pops up in the middle. I'm like, ooh, 232 health. That is... Oh, well, never mind. Now he's down to 104 health. He's a definite kill for my gun. The thing is, he's dived down in that riverbank. So, I'm looking for the shot here, but I'm like, he's down that riverbank. The odds are if I shoot, I'm just kind of shooting the ground, not him. But maybe if I shoot right here? No, he's not there. I hit the riverbank. Now the T-67 spots the Churchill coming down the eastern flank. There's not much time left to play around. So I'm going to start moving up to that ridgeline up ahead to assassinate the Valentine. Partway there, though, the Martyr pops up. Now, the Martyr, it's a very sneaky tank, but it's got nothing on the ELC. He has no idea he's under attack. He's too new a player. He's dead. Okay. Now, there's still no time to dilly-dally. I've already burned enough time making sure I dealt with the Martyr. I really got to go after that Valentine. Our T-67 is doing his best to hold off the Churchill, and I got to do what I can to try and assist him. So first thing I do, I come up here is I look to see if I can gain a shot on the Churchill. How about 67? There's just there's buildings in the way. There's stuff there. But there's the Valentine. Stop. Aim. Yeah, 67 goes down to the Churchill because I wasn't able to help him. But I take out the Valentine. And even better, I don't get spotted doing it. Churchill now only has a single SPG in support. Simply put, I'm not as concerned by the SPG as I am by the Churchill. A very small target is unlikely the SPG will be able to score a hit. So now I am using my stealth to work my way towards a favorable attack position with Churchill. Though it would be really cool. Along here, I'm like, maybe I can get a quick spot on the Churchill, try and figure out where he is. And sure enough, my view range ain't spectacular, but between it, the adequate view range and the excellent stealth, I'm able to see the Churchill without getting spotted, and that tells me where he's going. And I say, okay, move up to this ridge line. Right back to that bush we remember that we started the match in. It's right up here, and it's right where I need it to be. So I go right up to this, spot the Churchill, and take my time aiming. You can see he knows he's been spotted. He dives into cover of the buildings, but he doesn't know where the threat is, so he ends up diving into cover of the buildings in the wrong direction. I do get spotted, so once again, it's anti-artillery drill time, and I just use tiny speed, ridiculous mobility, blah blah. Zoom, 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 make myself as hard a target possible for the M37, and now I'm off the radar. And I'm saying, alright, 5 kills, a Top Gun would be sweet, but I don't want to put the game itself in jeopardy for a Top Gun. Why, you ask? Well, there's a ×4 event going on during this replay. I don't want to waste the ×4, this game, which is actually a really good game. I don't want to waste my ×4 trying to get a Top Gun when I could just have the win on a good match. That doesn't mean I can't set up to try and kill them, this particular artillery. I pull into the cap circle on an edge. Specifically here because if he's in A7, he'll crest that ridge and I'll rotate and blow his face off. And if he's to the west, I should see him coming. As it turns out, he's in the west. I turn, and because of his terrible view range and my excellent camo, he can't see me. I have plenty of time to take aim and finish him off with a Top Gun. Let's take a look at the post-game stats of that one. Well, that was actually, I won't claim a spectacular match, but it was good enough to unlock the AMX 12T from ELC. And hey, you know, look, I got a Top Gun, First Class Mastery, Reaper, and Fire for Effect. If we take a look at the team screen here, we'll see that I got high damage for the team, though not for the match. That actually goes to the other team's Churchill 3, but only 875 base XP. While it's it's a solid outcome for a match, it is not anything particularly spectacular. You can see the KV-220 showed off just how good that tank is with 1,000 damage for him. T-67 did a good match with 793, and as did our Su-76G. Really, if it weren't for those three guys, what I pulled off probably would not have been possible. If we take a look at the personal stat screen, it actually gets even more silly. 11 shots fired, 9 hits, 8 pens, because apparently Luke's butts are capable of deflecting 90mm shells. About half my damage was done at long range. He even blocked 30 damage by armor. Not that this tank has any armor. Don't expect that to ever actually happen. That was just a random ricochet from an autocannon round from the Lukes. Even picked up a little bit of assistance damage. Traveled 4.5 kilometers in a not quite 10-minute match. And even made okay credits thanks to my premium account of 27,000 credits and 5,252 XP. I hope you enjoyed watching that. Good game and good night.